What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Oh wow, okay, we have not been back to these guys in a long time. We're coming back to Lamb of God. Yes, indeed, Lamb of God fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity-bob, do me a favor. Before you do all those things, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Mr. Crinkle, and believe it or not, it was also the winner of the Patreon request prioritization poll, winning with 38% of the vote. Boy, was this one close. It was number 424 in the queue. It went straight up to number 1. So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, your voice, your vote does matter. They all want to see me react to this song. It is Lamb of God with a song called Blood of the Scribe. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I don't believe so. This does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, really? Wow, this is that song? I recognize that. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Lambed Lyrics, okay? And the video has 1.3 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Lamb of God, Blood of the Scribe. Lyrics, HQ. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
All of this comes crashing down. Cornerstone's gone. Sleepless, hopeless, no end in sight. Well has run dry. Fell it with blood of the scribe. Rest comes easy to the guiltless. The vampire laments as he prays for blood.
A little more of a reservoir on top of the beat feel. Still on the 2 and 4 on the snare. Switches to the halftime feel. So that's a perfect example of switching between feel. It was playing the straight time, snare on the 2 and the 4, right? Now here's the thing, the tempo never actually changed. The tempo was the same. But instead of hitting the snare on the 2 and the 4, he switched it up to just hitting on the 3 alone. And that gave it the illusion of switching to halftime. So what I'm saying is, it's not actually going to halftime. It's going to a halftime feel, but not actually going to halftime. And that's all thanks to the drummer and his placement of the snare, rather than being on 2 and 4, simply putting it on the 3. That's it. Very smart drumming. Very smart, intelligent way to play with feel. Really nice job. I gotta say, I don't remember everything about the first reaction I did to Lamb of God, because let's be honest, it was like a year and a half ago. I do remember I wasn't thrilled with it. I wasn't like in love with it. I will say I'm enjoying this a lot more than what I remember of the first song I heard. Yeah, I'm by comparison, I am enjoying this a lot more. Let's keep going here.
Control the bone, run the grave, unearth the stone, lay to waste, defile the tomb, red the light, strip by the vein, lay to waste. Right at the edge, flat line. The anvil cracks the hammer. Relentlessly comes down. A new pariah is born.
I like the use of the rhyme there. That was nice. Playing like a 5 pattern.
On the grave, unearth the stone, lay to waste, defile the tomb, red the light, strip by the vein, lay to waste.
I don't remember from the first song if this is one of the bands that does guitar solos or does not do guitar solos. If they do guitar solos, this would be like the perfect place for it. About 2/3 of the way through the song, and this would be the place for it. I don't know if they do solos or not. I don't remember. Even if they do, that doesn't necessarily mean this song's going to get one. But if there is one, this would be the perfect spot for it. The guitar work is tight. I mean, the guitar work is absolutely tight. It sounds really good. The drumming is outstanding. Cannot hear the bass worth a damn. The bass is getting completely washed out. It's very typical. It's going to get pushed to the back. I mean, I can sense it. Like I can feel in my ears. I can feel the bass frequency, but I don't hear any specific notes. But musically, instrumentally, yeah, these guys they're on point without question. Let's keep going here.
Chastisement lays you down to sleep,
Chunky
tucks you
tight.
in with bloody kisses.
Pitcher mic.
Gifts of nightmares. Better slight.
Oh, a time change. Okay.
Will be death of me. Not what you came to see. You not climb the wall till nails bleed. Rip the hair till the seams. Break the glass, head in hands. Bell tolls endlessly, no end in sight.
Good ending. Good ending. Okay, look, I may not necessarily like it, but it's a good ending. It's a sudden, out of nowhere ending, and it works. It absolutely works. I may not be a fan of it, but it definitely works. Yeah, man. Okay, let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Lamb of God with Blood of the Scribe. This was a request from Mr. Crinkle, and believe it or not, it was also the winner of the Patreon request prioritization poll, winning with 38% of the vote. It was close. It was number 424 in the queue. It went straight up to number 1. So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, your voice, your vote does matter. Okay, I thought about it, and I got a score here. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.8. Yep, 7.8. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
I wish I could remember what score I gave the first song. It was so long ago. It was like, God, been like what? It's been almost 2 years. It has been 2 years, I think, since I did my first reaction to Lamb of God. It's been a long time, so I do not remember the score. I do remember it wasn't below 5. It wasn't a bad score. It wasn't down in the negative scores. But I also remember I didn't give it like a 7 or an 8. I think I gave it like a high 5 or a low 6, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's where it was. But I liked this song in comparison. I think this was a really good song. This song was very well done. Very clean. Very, very clean. Just the right amount of bleed over in the guitars. And it was obvious. It was very obvious to me in the section in the middle where he went into those six, the really fast picking, the chunking, as we like to call it. When he went to the chunking, it became very obvious there was a tiny little bit of bleed over due to reverb, and it was just the perfect amount. Everything still sounded tight. Everything still sounded precise, with just the right amount of bleed over to give it the fullness that metal needs without sounding polished. You know what I mean? So that was fun. I love the guitar tone in this. Speaking of precision, though, the guitar work in this was absolutely precise. I absolutely dug it. Very, very clean. I got no issues with it whatsoever. The drumming. The drumming was one of the highlights for me, for sure. Some fantastic drumming on this, some great play and feel. And that really all did come down to the drumming, because when the drumming did switch up from like that one pattern I pointed out where he went from straight time to halftime, and all he really did was he changed up his pattern a little bit, specifically with the snare, switching from a downbeat with the snare hits being on 2 and 4 to just being on 3 alone. Such an easy thing to do, to switch from a straight time to a halftime. But at the same time, guitar and bass did not follow suit. They kept doing what they were doing. You know what I mean? So it really did come down to the drummer and the drummer alone. Really nice job, though. One of the other highlights for me was when they actually did switch tempo toward the end, where I thought there was going to be a guitar solo. It turned out not being a guitar solo at all. It just turned out being a switch in tempo. They actually did increase their tempo. Now, they didn't increase it a lot. I think if I'm going to estimate a guess, they probably switched up between 24 to 30 beats per measure. And not a huge gap, but a noticeable gap. A noticeable jump. And it felt good. It felt really good, especially with the approach they took with the rhythmic feel in the drumming in particular. That felt nice. But here's the thing. It wasn't just the drumming, though. The guitar and bass were right there with it. The bass. One of my biggest gripes about this was really couldn't hear bass worth a damn. It was there. I could feel the resonance of the bass, but I couldn't hear any specific notes in the bass. I just felt the bass presence. And for me, being a bass player, that's kind of a bummer. I was really kind of looking for it, and I didn't really get it. I wouldn't say this is a gripe. This is just more personal taste, I guess. The vocals. I remember I said this in my first reaction to Lamb of God. I really wish he would, and I know this is not their style. I know it's not. I know this is wishful thinking. They'll never do this, but still, listen, a guy can dream, can he? I really wish he would just, not a ton, but just incorporate a little melodic singing into his style. That's all I would love to see. We would be talking about a different score if I heard some actual melodic singing. Now, he does in this song. He does put some melodic undertones, some undertones from a melodic standpoint into his grit and growl. It is there. It's a little hard to find at times, but it is there, and I'm glad to see that. So there is some, subharmonic and submelodic notations within the grit and growl. You have to search, but I promise you'll find them. So I'm glad for that, but at the same time, it'd be nice. Maybe just like in the pre-choruses. Just in the pre-choruses. Do a little melodic singing. That would be awesome. I would love that. A la Soilwork, But unfortunately, we don't get that in the case, and I don't think we ever will. Lamb of God has a very specific style. They aim their songwriting and their music to a specific demographic, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying if they did this, they would probably pick up more. Even more people that would listen to their music, myself included. I find it a little hard to get behind this, if I'm being honest, with it just being nothing but grit and growl. But the musicianship, top notch. Really nice job, guys. Really nice job. It's a really nice song. It's a really good song. And that's why it's getting the really good score of 7.8. Now, a lot of people may be thinking that's a low score. No, it's not. 7.8, believe it or not, actually is a really good score. If you don't believe me, that's okay. Take a look down below. In the video description, you'll find my scoring system chart. And in that scoring system chart, you will clearly see that 7.0 to 7.9 is the grading scale for what? What does it say? Does it say bad? No. Does it say terrible? No. Does it say horrible? No. Does it say okay or pretty good? No. It says really good. So I know for a fact this is a higher score. I just don't know how much higher it was than the first one. So yeah, 7.8, I feel good with that score, and that is where we're gonna stay. So 7.8, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.